it's certainly all football, school being over, and so the guys been real focused and working really hard.
Yeah. You certainly need extra time to get ready for travel plans and all that stuff, but is 29 days between games almost too much to deal with?
Well, like I said way back when, it can be hard because you lose a rhythm, and practicing is not playing the game, and so that kind of is just something we all have to deal with. But we're smart in the work we're getting, I think, and so I think it's a fine line of we're working hard. I think guys are improving. I think young guys are getting, some of the young guys have gotten good work. And we'll practice one more time before we give them some more time to rest up.
You mentioned the young guys. How much of this period is about getting ready for Alabama, but also getting young guys prepped for next season?
I mean, it's all about the next game, but we have had a lot of time, so those guys have gotten some great extra work as well.
You've had a lot of experience preparing a team logistically and everything for bowl games.
Yeah.
You have to prepare a little different, you and your staff and kids, for probably more media attention, media time for this one than a typical bowl game.
I mean, I don't know what you do to prepare for that other than tell them this is what we got going. I mean, I don't think it's overwhelming. What's hard, we have a lot of time being down there, which that's a lot of time. By the end, I know we all feel like, can we please just play this game and go home? But it'll be great for those guys to experience this whole week, so we're excited about that. And then I already know by the end of it, it'll be like, it's time to play.
Is the goal by tomorrow, last practice, pretty much have the whole game plan in,
Yeah.
all that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. We have that in, and then we go down there. I mean, it's really, get your mind right, get your legs right, polish up. There'll be a whole lot of new stuff going in.
Any Christmas plans, and obviously players, coaches, you're giving everyone a kind of couple days off to kind of step back.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. It's kind of rest up, recharge, spend some good quality time with the family for a few days, and then, on Christmas Day, we'll travel back down there.
Can you completely escape from what's in front of you? I mean, is that, you kind of have to force yourself to maybe enjoy
No, I mean,
a little bit, or is that?
If you watch the tape that I'm watching, there's no way you're escaping this. I mean, it's, it's on everybody's mind, but that doesn't mean that we won't have a good, few days with our family and appreciate and enjoy Christmas for sure.
You did get one day to raise the 12 flag. What was that like?
Yeah, that's awesome. It was great. I really appreciate the Seahawks for allowing me to do that. It's a great stadium. It's so loud, and the 12s are passionate, and I think this area is so football passionate. I love going anywhere where they're passionate about football. I mean, I think that's what's really cool about us going back to this bowl game. There's going to be a lot of passionate football people back there, and that's what this thing's all about.
You're going to wear that jersey a bunch, right, to the game?
I will when I'm at home and I'm watching them and rooting them on.
Yeah, you need someone to be able to see you in the dark or whatever.
Yeah, I kind of like them.
When they called to ask you to do that,
Yeah.
was that just an automatic yes, or did you have to think about it for a
No,
bit?
it wasn't. It was probably an automatic no. And then Coach Carroll was like, you recruit guys that'll see this.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, you're kind of right. And so he knows. He thinks like a coach. And, and then, once I thought about it, it was awesome honor. It was great.
Do you feel like you're almost in some ways, because of the proximity to Tuscaloosa, that you're preparing for a road game?
Oh, yeah. There's no question. It's a road game. I think, the game that we played last year, halfway across the country, it's a road game. Certainly this one is. I mean, when we go into that stadium, it's going to be 3/4 Alabama and quarter Washington. So it's a road game.
What's the biggest challenge that you see on film in regards to getting your passing game going against that defense?
I mean, it's the biggest challenge is the 11 guys lined up over there. I mean, that's the biggest challenge. They just got really good players. But it's really good because it's going to challenge us to play at our best, and that's how it should be at the end of the season. These kids have played well, all season long, and so they deserve this game, and they're going to have to play at the highest level, which I think that's what everybody wants to do anyways. So it's a great opportunity.
You feel like Alabama is a heavy favorite, I guess, at least in that world, the Vegas
Yeah.
world, has kind of motivated these guys and kind of, you got a us against the world type of mentality going on?
I mean, I think these guys have had that mentality anyways. I mean, you got to play the game with an edge, and it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. It doesn't. It wouldn't matter if they're saying we're favored, they're favored. It doesn't matter. It just matters that we're prepared and we go out and we execute the best we can do. I mean, that's really what it matters. I mean, if you need motivation for this game, you don't get on this plane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, really? I mean, there's enough of that out there.
Is it right that you bumped into Jim Levitt the day after the actual championship?
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah.
What did he say exactly about the trick play stuff? Or?
Oh yeah, we were just talking about preparing and those type of things. And yeah, I mean, I think everybody works on trick plays against this.
Right.
So.
Is that's the sort of thing? No, there was rumor report that Alabama's going through like 8 or 10 years in charting your trick plays. I mean, what's your reaction when you hear that?
Yeah, they got the manpower to do it, so go do it. You know, I mean, we'll prepare the best we can, and whatever we think is the best chance to win, we'll go.
What do you think? I mean, it seems like every time a big game like this comes up, obviously
Yeah.
everyone harkens back to the Fiesta Bowl and
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
trick plays that worked there, and you've got kind of this label that's kind of stuck with you over the years.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, great. Go prepare for trick plays, and do what you got to do.
Is that kind of what you, like you said, what you like? It's sort of feels like, I don't know, double-edged sword. Like,
I think there's a lot of tape there's a lot of tape just to look at this year. And if somebody wants to go back in all those years, and it's a lot of research you got to do. And, so it's you can take a couple different approaches. You don't want anybody to see your stuff, or it's like go look at it all. And in this day and age, everybody's going to look at it all.
Chris, can you talk a bit about Jalen Hurts and just kind of what this guy brings to the table
Yeah.
and how he's maybe unique or the same from other mobile quarterbacks you've seen?
Well, I think he's done an unbelievable job. I hate to even say like as a freshman coming in because he doesn't really play like a freshman, but I still marvel at that because I think one of his, from what I can tell, what I've seen is just how calm he is. I think that's always a really positive, important characteristic out of a quarterback, that they just play the game. They don't get too high, they don't get too low, and I think that's easier said than done.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly a lot harder as a freshman. And that's the first thing that jumps out. And then he's this tremendous athlete that they do a great job at designing the system around the quarterback to make him successful.
How much do you kind of bank on your past experiences? Adam mentioned the Fiesta Bowl and just games down there, SEC teams, things like that. How much do you kind of go back and think about in years prior to get ready for this game?
Every game is different, but you always use everything you've been through of like, hey, we've been, this was important, either a positive or a negative. And that's what you're trying to do. It's just, you can't talk about everything. You got to figure out the really important things. Let the kids latch onto that, and away we go.
Coach Smith had talked about really benefiting from not having to throw as much these last few weeks and getting a little time to rest.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone did.
Yeah.
Did you sense that did you see some fatigue maybe later in the year?
Oh, I think everybody's tired. I mean, it's just a lot of reps. You don't think about your quarterback as much because everybody's like wear and tear on your body. I do know how many balls he's thrown, I mean, every day it's charted. And so that's a lot of footballs that are thrown, and we're always trying to figure out whether it's GPS systems with our players that run, whether it's, explosive movements out of our quarterbacks as well. It's just a lot of, week in and week out, it's just a lot. And so it's good to be able to let, not only him, but all of our guys rest.
How does like quarterback fatigue show up in a game?
Well, I think it's, guys get hit and they get beat up, let alone all the reps on your arm and all those type of things. And so it's always, Coach Zaha and I, we're talking about that every day. It's like we're still trying to figure out like how to maximize, their freshness. We're still practicing hard, getting the reps you need. And it's not an easy case to crack. I think it's more art than science right now, even though we're trying to bring as much science into it.
Speaking of trying to crack a case, with their deep rush defense,
Yeah.
when you've broken it down, what would have been kind of the staples of their defense to allow them to be so effective?
It always starts in that, the front. Those D linemen are stout. That's what it is. It starts right there. And, And then, you know, they just go, it just comes back to having really, really good talent. I mean, it starts in that D-line, and then you put one of the best, if not the best linebacker in the country right behind them, and, you know, pretty good secondary. And so that's what it is. I mean, they're playing elite defense. They've done it for, you know, a bunch of years, but they're in a great rhythm and all those things. And so it's nothing that we haven't seen, you know, scheme-wise. But, you know, they just got a lot of playmakers over there.
It seems like, I mean, they're only averaging and allowing 2 yards a rush. I mean, the difference between them and like the second best rush defense in the country is pretty extreme. So is it just elite athletes? Because it seems like there's a lot of elite athletes out there.
Yeah, and it's never going to be any one thing when you're playing. Like I said, I mean, I don't want to minimize her. I mean, they're really good coaches as well, but you know, to have that, you know, that much talent, I haven't seen anyone have that much talent there, you know, across the board. And you know, there's usually a guy or two in the front. They just got really, really stout guys there in the front. They play like that every game.
Chris, what's pregame for a game like this like for you guys? Do you bring in some ex-players to get the guys all fired up and smashing lockers in the locker room? What's that moment like for you?
I mean, I think it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we're not bringing you in for sure. I mean, if you need that for this type of game, I mean, you don't need that. What we need to do is be able to calm down and have a chance to really focus in and play our best.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way we approach it, at least.
So I've got no shot. Addressing the team pregame, that's not going to happen.
We'll let you know if we need to bring you in.
How important is it, though, for you for this month to get the ex guys involved and just make them feel like they're a part of this?
You know, not just this month. I mean, I want them to always feel a part of this. You know, year round. I think we're playing right now, so they pay attention, and you know, anytime we can get those guys over to be around us, to watch us practice, to say a few things, I think that's always good. But I don't think it's just like right now. I mean, it needs to be always.
And obviously you can't talk specifics, but what have you noticed that this last few weeks has meant for recruiting and just the image around the program?
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it's real good. It's real positive. You know, and then the trick is to keep playing at this level, and that's how things slowly but surely change. It can't be any one game, one season. It's got to be consistent. I think that's why you see what you see at Alabama. It hasn't been 1 year. It hasn't been 3 years for those guys. It's been since, you know, Coach Saban's been there. And that's how you create that, you know, that what they got going there.
If I would have told you when you were hired that 3 years in you would be in this position, would you have bought that kind of progress?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone goes. You're not going to leave somewhere that's, you know, good and come to a place unless you think, you know, you have this vision of like what you think could be. And you know, whether we're playing in this type of game, I don't really think like that. I just think about, you know, getting really good people here and creating this environment where everybody can have a chance to really, you know, get to their potential. And they feel it, and they're growing, and everybody's changing, from coaches to players to everybody. And then when it's like that, you know really good things are going to happen. But when we were at Boise, it wasn't like getting to a BCS game. It was never about that. And coming here, it wasn't about, we didn't say we got to get to this, you know, the playoffs. It's just about, you know, how you go about your business. And you think you could create something really special because of the things that come with this place, from the university to the passionate fans to the facilities, all those things, and that's what I think it's about.
Chris, with Jeff now at Fresno, is that a situation where you're going to try to maybe find someone every year, or is it all about fit?
Yeah, all about fit, for sure. So, you know, we have a bunch of guys that, you know, probably would like to come here and do that thing, but it's really unique because, again, I mean, the guy, you know, it's not like coaching on the field. So everybody wants to do that. They're not doing that. We have our system, so we don't need a system. You know, it has to be someone's maybe tied in, who's done some things like us, and it's really unique. And if that unique person's there, then we'll see.
Do you find yourself having fun getting ready for a game like this, or is it more stressful for you from your perspective?
It's not more stressful. Like I say, every game that we prepare for is the same. But the bowl game experience is a lot different for the fans and family. And we try to make it a little bit different for the players as well, but not so much for the coach. I mean, we're there to get a job done. If we're going there for a bowl experience, that's not how it is. I learned that a long time ago with Coach Tedford and some guys way back when. I mean, if you think you're going there to enjoy the go-kart racing, and you may show up, you may not, it depends what the work has to be done. And so as soon as you make that switch, that, hey, it actually makes it more enjoyable.
How many people are going down from the Petersen family
Yeah,
perspective?
we'll have a good crew.
Yeah.
There's some family and friends, and like I say, you know, I mean, hopefully I get to say hi to them, and we'll see.
Are you buying all those tickets yourself?
Well, they'll be in the game, we'll just say that.
Do you find you have more friends when it comes to bowl time than regular?
There's probably a few more people that I've heard from, than, especially this type of bowl game that I haven't heard from in a while. Yeah.